your crowd's applause held your hands while the wreckage falls. Every word you whispered was rehearsed. Every bridge you burned, it's getting worse. Now you're running, can't face the blame. You played your part in this twisted game. In the city of Clout, where dreams decay, you traded your soul and you'll never stay. Where secrets grow, you built this line, now reap what you sow. City of Clout, where truth gets torn, an empire of dust, a crown of scorn. City of Clout, where shadows lead, a hollow dream born out of greed.
Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the term of the captain goes down with the ship, right? Well, apparently, Corinne, would like to just escape the consequences of her actions, if you will. So it says right here from Grums, there's a leak thanks to Smash JT, and Corinne Busche, the game director of Dragon Age The Veilguard, that's right, The Veilguard, has left Bioware and EA. So these are kind of the same company anyway, so you say one, you mean the other, it's the same thing. So apparently, BioWare Edmonton will be shut down sometime at the end of February. And we'll read a little bit more of that right here because he goes on to explain more of what he came to understand in the email. And we'll read that too. And it says, the farewell email was shared with me, and I verified her leaving it with Smash JT's contacts at EA and BioWare. The rumor goes that Edmonton offices of BioWare will be shut down in February, just before the EA town hall for investors and gamers. It's sad that after completely destroying the game with DEI trans scars and terrible characters and writing, that the game director responsible for it all bails and leaves everyone else holding the bag. These people often fail upwards through a woke studio system bent on promoting activists instead of great developers. And so he goes on to talk a little bit more about what this is, and we'll read her letter in just a minute. But one of the things I want to clarify about this is that the Edmonton closure hasn't been, wrote off yet. We don't know. There's speculation that might not be true. But again, it wouldn't surprise me because this is quite a huge blow considering that Dragon Age was a very well-selling franchise for EA, and now, not so much. I mean, it lectures to you right there. You have one of those PSAs that you see at health class right there where the Ta'ash, the main character, or rather the character of focus in the story, that character is announcing to her parents? Guardians? I'm not sure. Some elder that they are non-binary, and that's neat. That's just what you want in your fantasy story is some modern-day current politics just slapping you in the face. But let's find out what good old Corinne had to say about her departure here. Now, this reads a little chunky, so just bear with me here. Game developers, who would have guessed? So here we are. Corinne writes, hard to believe I'm writing these words, but here it goes. It's time for me to say goodbye. Today is my last day at BioWare and EA. After so much contemplation, I've decided to pursue a new challenge and a new project, doing what I love most, making RPGs all about agendas. Corinne doesn't say that last part about agendas, but I decided it's, fills in the gap. It wasn't an easy decision, when I say I love BioWare. Like I said, it reads chunky. It wasn't an easy decision, as I mean it when I say I love BioWare. The Dragon Age team and what we've all accomplished together, like a game that sold worse than its predecessor. My time with all of you has been the highlight of my career. I want to offer my personal thanks to each of you for your trust, your companionship, for the many ways in which you've inspired me and helped me to grow. Wow. That's what you want in your game developer. Like, thanks for helping me grow. Not the company, not the sales, not anybody's 401k, not anybody's investment portfolio, not anybody's like resume. Thanks for helping me grow. Thanks. Thanks. Anyway, uh, I'll be eagerly waiting. My brain's a little fried over this. You're gonna have to excuse me. I'm trying to remember that this is a dude pretending to be a lady here, and I'm trying to negotiate that how that sounds in my brain. So here we go. I'll be eagerly waiting to see what great experiences you create next as a fan. I'll be rooting for you like a second grade teacher, right? Good luck out there in third grade. It's a great challenge. If I can leave you with any advice, it is this. We all know making games is hard. It's part of why we do it. But making games is also about the people and the reliance we have on each other. So take time to celebrate the wins and lift each other up. The challenge of the work will always be there, but the moments we have with each other are precious and few. Let's stay in touch, Corinne. And like I said, that was chunky. Brain went all over the place trying to negotiate who was saying what. But here we go. The situation that you're looking at here is that, of course, is very corporate speak, but it reads very much like a second grade teacher's like farewell address to their student. And I pick on second grade because like it's one of those ones. It's like, the teacher really takes it too seriously. It's second grade. First grade's a big like milestone. You made it out of kindergarten, kid, and you proved that you could keep going. Second grade, not such a big deal. Third grade, still not that big. Fourth grade, you start getting into that time when you start needing to talk about like big stuff, like making sure to shut the light off when you leave the bathroom and that kind of stuff. Now that you're tall enough to reach that kind of thing. Unless you're one of those kids that was like 6 feet tall, like out the gate, and otherwise you definitely had to work the light switch. But anyway, what I'm looking at here is that this is very much like the attitude of somebody that is not like ever connected to being a game developer. Like there's nothing here, but there's barely any language rather. It's not nothing, but there's barely any language here that acknowledges the game itself. It mentions the title of the game and the team, and that's it. That's about it. It goes on to just sort of wax over that there were other people involved and how nice it was to be with other people. Like I said, it's like a farewell letter you get from a second grade teacher that's taking this way too seriously. Who knows, but we'll go on and we'll take a look at this because like there's a lot of feedback you saw from the community and let's take a look at this. Tom Bombadil had a really good presentation for this and it's I really like this meme. So it's a AAA game based on a popular IP made for modern audiences, and shilled relentlessly by paid journalists, and it had 8,000 people playing on Steam charts and its 24-hour peak was 11,000, okay? Then an indie game made by two guys in Russia with a budget of $20 and a bottle of vodka came up with this game right here. We had 23,248 players at the time of this screenshot and a maximum of just a little higher than that at 23,637. And again, you've heard about this one. I think it's Miside. Miside is in like it's overbearing girlfriend that murders you. So you have like a serial killer girlfriend or something like that. It's like a VR experience or like one of those first-person experiences. A simulator to live with, Lorena Bobbitt probably isn't the right one. You guys probably wouldn't recognize that one either. So comment below if you remember, but probably shouldn't mention her crime because that probably will get censored. But if you know who Lorena Bobbitt is, feel free to comment below. But again, this wasn't something that came as a surprise, right? All along this. So Dragon Age's franchise creator, David Gator, dismisses, I know I said that wrong, maybe I didn't, who knows and who cares, because guess what he had to say? He called everybody who didn't like what the Veilguard was doing an effing tourist, okay? Now, I'd like to say the whole word, but I don't think that YouTube wants me to, because, we're getting tight about that censor thing now that new president's coming in and whatnot. And he added to that after calling people who were critics of Dragon Age the Veilguard's like gameplay trailer and presentation, that people are effing tourists that wander around looking to fixate on problems that don't exist. Meanwhile, the game continued to stumble down on its own, like ham-fisted attempt to lecture to you, as it says right here. And again, this was what I was referencing earlier. This was the scene where you have Ta'ash sitting with her elder and explaining the non-binary thing, and the elder is not really caring one way or the other about it. It's just sort of perplexed by this matters, and Ta'ash is mad that her elder is not taking this as seriously as Ta'ash would like, okay? And so it's a very, as Spencer says here, it's a ham-fisted and embarrassing attempt at lecturing people about modern-day, in-the-moment, trendy gender politics, okay? This stuff isn't going to be a problem in 10 years. It probably won't even be a problem in 5. Most of what was driving it was the corporatization of the human experience, which, again, this tried to tap into. As people pointed out, the word okay appeared almost 1,000 times in the script of Dragon Age the Veilguard. Why that's a problem is that it's a fantasy genre. It shouldn't be like leaning into like, okay. There should be more verily in there. There should be more artistic language in there as opposed to, you know, like the Star Trek Lower Decks kind of comedy writing that was imbued into it. Remember, you had to do a barv in order to make up for your, perceived slights. You know, if you misgender somebody, you gotta do push-ups as, I don't know, atonement for misgendering. Because that's what people do in real life, you know, when you he a she or they a them, you know, they a z rather, you got to do some push-ups. Doesn't matter if it's like raining or like in the snow or like at the rim of a volcano. Got to do those push-ups. Last thing you want to do is misgender somebody if you've got weak elbows. I'm just telling you. Don't misgender people if you don't like push-ups. Just saying. And, you know, again, EA was aware of this. Bioware was aware of this. They were not, blind to this. They were not sticking their nose up. So they rushed out and said, hey, man, Mass Effect isn't going to go crazy like the Veilguard is. Don't worry, guys. It's going to be what you expect it to be. It's not going to get watered down. It's not going to be some weird lecture thing. We're going to keep to the mature tone of the original trilogy. Please don't be angry before it comes out. Yeah, no, it's over. You know it is. The RPG that they were putting together, the tabletop one, had pronouns in it. They assigned pronouns to the species that doesn't have a male gender. What? What? Exactly. So, Dragon Age the Veilguard's dev reflect on the game's release, saying they're quite proud of the critical reception, but admit the sales are struggling. Now, what they said in this interview back in December was that they anticipated people not liking the game, but they did not anticipate the intensity of that. Okay? And they dropped the subject immediately after that. So, again, this is another situation like what we were looking at with Concord. Like, eventually we're going to forget that. Like, I'm already forgetting it. Eventually we're going to forget that. But this is exactly what we were looking at with Concord, is that toxic positivity led these people into this spiral of, like, I need to put this in here. Okay, cool. We're going to put this in here now, too. Okay, cool. Nobody got to say that doesn't belong in here, and you ended up with this mess. So, I don't know, guys. You're going to have to let me know what you think about it down below in the comments. But, as always, good luck out there.